Oh.
We are delighted to welcome so many friends and honored guests as we present a news house. In a few weeks' time, this wonderful place will be a new home for Suspilne newsroom. My name is Tetiana Kiselchuk. I'm a board member at UA PBC who is responsible for news and digital.
And I am Dima Hilchenko, coordinator of the News House projects. We will be your hosts for today. But before we hear from our distinguished guests, we wanted to talk briefly about what brought us here today.
Revolution on Maidan in 2014, just a few meters from where we're standing now. In many ways, this was the birth of free media in Ukraine. It became clear that a strong, independent public broadcaster was needed. Soon, Suspilne was born.
Since then, Suspilne has covered the most important stories for Ukraine. The aftermath of MH17, the Malaysian Airlines plane shot down over Donbass.
The imprisonment and return of Oleg Sentsov.
The unrest in neighboring Belarus.
The Ukrainian Airlines plane shot down in Iran.
The COVID-19 global pandemic.
And the most recently, Olympic Games and Paralympic.
The News House is the latest stage of our journey. This project was designed to give Suspilne a state-of-the-art multimedia newsroom, and more importantly, a new way of working. We have already achieved so much, and for that, we have a lot to thank the people here in this room. The European Union, the British Embassy and the German Embassy, BBC Media Action, and Deutsche Welle Academy have all been so valuable to us.
And now we are going to be quiet and pass the microphone for welcome speech to our head of news at the PBC, Ms. Angelina Karyakina.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm extremely happy to be here. It's still unbelievable for us and for the part of the team that is also right here and that is looking forward very much to move in. And frankly speaking, it is unbelievable to me until the time when we go live from this very studio. So till then, it still sort of seems like a dream to me. But let me tell you a few very important words about the concept of News House, because it is not only the walls, it is not only the computers, it is not only this wonderful space, it's about the workflow and it's about the people. And I wanted to give you just a brief explanation of how the team transformed over the past year. It's been sharply a year since I joined this team. Together with our partners, together with your help and support and consultancy, we were able to develop and create new roles, new jobs, and actually hire these people, and they are now working in this newsroom. These are the team of multimedia editors and producers, planning editors and producers, chiefs of platforms, TV, radio. We were able to assemble a whole new department of social media team of the news, just the very first social media team in the news department in this company, which is growing its audience systematically, months after months, and we are really, really proud of them. Through this year, we were able to cover things which we were not able to do before we actually created this system and the whole concept of news gathering. Let me just give you a very short overview of these stories. We were able to go to Belarus and cover protests in Minsk live. We were the only Ukrainian team that was working a year ago in Belarus live. We were able to get to one of the closed rallies in favor of Biden because of the quarantine last year and to stream it live as well. We were able to cover conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh both from Armenia and Azerbaijan, so our crews were working in both countries. Just a few stories from recent days. Refugee crisis in Lithuania, and also first visit of Mr. Zelensky to Washington. These are the stories that gained impact and visibility and quotation thanks to the system of news gathering. Before that, we were able just to produce stories for radio and TV, but now they gained this visibility and impact through the system. And of course, countless stories from across the whole country, from the regions, countless and great stories from our regional offices on the quarantine and on COVID crisis, which we are also very, very proud of. So to cut the story short, let me just briefly tell you that it's not the space that was transformed, it's also the team that has transformed, and they are really, really looking forward to move in. And just to take this moment and thank all of you who supported us through these years, but also a special thank you to a person who stood by our team in the toughest moments of this journey, David Hayward. Thank you so much for being with the team all the time. No, really? Thank you so much. You've been there through the whole journey, but you know it's just the beginning of the journey. So the journey is just starting, and we are really, really happy to be here with all of you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angelina. Without the support of European Union, this would remain only a dream, such as told Angelina before. The unwavering commitment for several years made the multimedia newsroom in Ukraine possible. Therefore, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce His Excellency Mati Masikas, the EU Ambassador to Ukraine. Mr. Ambassador, please.
Thank you very, very much. And quite rarely can one not only take part in such a positive, joyous, merry occasion, but also, I mean, as a diplomat, quite rarely can you actually see the results of your work, because in diplomacy things move awfully slowly, often. This, together with partners, Deutsche Welle Academy, the PBC, but most and foremost with the partners from Suspilne, really happy to be here and really happy to celebrate this shining, wonderful, and very high-tech newsroom. I wish you all the strength and inspiration in your very, very important work. The EU supports wholeheartedly free speech and free media in Ukraine, and has since the very beginning supported quite massively the creation of a public broadcaster. For me, when I arrived in Ukraine, one of the biggest, a couple of years ago, one of the biggest surprises was the ownership of the media landscape, and especially in the area, in the televised media. You know much better than me how this works, but an independent and reliable public broadcaster is an essential element, essential thing for all European democracies, and what you have achieved over the last 4 years is remarkable. There's more to come in terms of EU's support. We are currently working on 2 programs worth together €6.2 million to support the cultural to preserve the cultural heritage that you have in the archives, to digitize this. It's such an important part of Ukrainian recent history and Ukrainian culture. And then, of course, streaming and journalists sort of training is something we want to support. So we are continuing this journey together, and I'm an avid listener of новини по українському радіо, and also your TV news. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Of course, for any project to happen, there are several things you need, and one of them is reliable partners with exceptional knowledge and expertise. And we were very lucky, and this is absolutely the case with our lead partner, the Deutsche Welle Academy. We are so fortunate to have a message now from the Director General of DW, Peter Limburg. Please.
Dear Excellencies, dear Mr. Czernotitsky, dear DW partners and colleagues, dear ladies and gentlemen. Today we celebrate the opening of a modern convergent newsroom at Saspilny. This project and the cooperation between European broadcasters are at the heart of DW's strategy to promote freedom of expression worldwide. Our relationship with UA PBC is a special one, with a history of cooperation and active involvement of DW Academy in Ukraine since 2014. Among our many achievements is the establishment of the Public Media Academy to provide training and development to UA PBC staff and other media professionals. We thank the European Union and the German Ministry of Foreign Affairs for their support, which enabled us to make a unique contribution to the transformation process of Saspilny. As a result of our recent activities, a team of 210 journalists and technicians can now rely on an optimized news gathering structure, a modern production system and high-quality equipment, and deliver multimedia reports across different platforms more efficiently. I would like to congratulate Mr. Czernotitsky on his new leadership role, and I wish you and your team the best of luck. Keep up the good work. We hope that UA PBC will continue to have the means to fulfill its mission as an independent public broadcaster. The need to provide fast and reliable information has never been so high. The pandemic, the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, and persisting information attacks from Russia show that free and critical journalism is of a crucial importance. We at DW are proud to be a part of this transformation and to contribute our knowledge and expertise for the benefit of all Ukrainian citizens. Looking into the future, DW Academy, UA PBC and our French partner, Canal France International, will work together on a new project, MediaFit. It focuses on supporting journalists and media outlets in southern and eastern Ukraine. So there is more to come, and I am very much looking forward to it. Thank you and enjoy the opening celebrations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Limburg.
The Deutsche Welle Academy has been the most wonderful organization to work with. That's why it gives me a great pleasure to introduce Mr. Karsten von Namen, the Managing Director of DW Academy.
Thank you very much. I have to get up here, I guess. So yeah, after what my boss Peter Limburg said, there's not much to add really, but there's one thing I would like to stress, and that is the very special partnership that Mr. Limburg also mentioned. And that is something that I cannot rate highly enough, because we have been working at DW Academy with public service broadcasters around the world for many years. And we've learned that the most important thing in this kind of cooperation is commitment. And the commitment here at UAPBC is there. It has carried us through difficult times, also with the COVID pandemic, making it very difficult to fulfill our goals. And I'm very happy to say that we have fulfilled, or looking at the finishing touches that still have to be done here, we will definitely fulfill all our goals. This is not just about the newsroom, it's also about training, it's also about improving the organizational structure. And I'm really grateful for the great cooperation that we had with our friends from BBC Media Action, but in particular with UAPBC, who have been really adamant to make sure that this project will be a success in spite of all the problems, in spite of all the obstacles. And I would like to thank everyone in the team of UAPBC for the commitment and for the efforts and for their support. And I can pledge that we at DW Academy will continue to support you and help you develop this public service broadcaster, which is something unique for Ukraine. It's not state, it's not private. It's a tool to serve the public and provide information for the people of Ukraine. And we will support you all the way. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. von Namen.
So yeah, Deutsche Welle Academy has been a rock, and they done it with a strong support with the German embassy here in Kyiv. So it is my big delight to invite Her Excellency, Miss Anka Feldhusen, to take the floor. Please.
В принципі, я хотіла говорити українською.
Actually, I was going to speak Ukrainian. However, as far as I understand, everyone understands English, and that's nice.
Dear colleagues from Deutsche Welle and the other partners of Suspilne. It has already been said before, but perhaps I'm the person who can really judge what progress, especially this place, has made, because I came here first in '94 as press secretary of the embassy, and you wouldn't recognize this building if you had seen it then. I was also here when, in 2014, Suspilne was founded, and I think it was founded for a good reason, after the events of Maidan. And I'm so happy that ever since we have been able to support Suspilne together, as was already said, with Deutsche Welle Academy, BBC Media Action, and the European Union, Matti, to make Suspilne a successful public broadcaster, which is no easy task in these days of changing viewers' habits, of social media. And believe me, there are people in Germany who would probably argue that German public broadcasters are also not, or the broadcasting is not the sexiest ever. But especially during pandemic times now, we have seen that people rely on objective, well-informed, well-researched information on public broadcasting channels. We have seen viewer ratings go up, and I think the same happened here in Ukraine with Suspilne. And this shows that in times of crisis, people look out for reliable information, information that they can trust. But that is only one reason for our commitment. Germany has really, I think in the most horrible way, seen what unified media on the service of a dictatorial system can end up with. And we have pledged since then to have public radio, a public broadcaster, in order never to have this happen again. Influence from the state, from religious organizations, or from parties. It cannot be possible to have objective information if you have such an influence. So public broadcasting is meant to avoid these mistakes that have happened before, especially in Germany, with horrific outcomes. Yeah, and I think that's probably it. I'm not going to bore you any longer. Yeah, I know that there are lots of other people who want to speak. Let me, together with your partners, first of all, from Deutsche Welle, because I have known them for the longest time, and I have the feeling that Mr. Limburg I met here in Ukraine first in the 90s, actually. Yeah. But also with BBC, our British colleagues, with the EU colleagues, I wish you good luck on the continuous work that you have to do. And the German embassy in Kyiv will always stand by your side, also with my successor, I think, even though he or she might not have this long memory. Yeah. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
As I mentioned before, none of this would be possible without so many people. The United Kingdom Embassy has been such an important part of this. I am delighted to welcome the Deputy Head of Mission from the British Embassy, Mr. Nicholas Herrocks.
Good afternoon, everybody. As the first native English speaker here, I hope you'll forgive me, but my words are in Ukrainian, and I will give them in Ukrainian. But it's great to feel the energy and the buzz around all this, and we're very pleased to be here with you all today. Шановні пани голова правління, високоповажні пані та панове посли.
Dear head of the board, your excellencies, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, it's a high honor for me to represent the United Kingdom Embassy here today. The partnership between the government of the United Kingdom and UA PBC has been long and productive. A year ago, the project Lift C started. The best experts from BBC held trainings for producers of content in Kyiv and regional affiliates. We also contributed to technical consultations for those in charge of the company's development, and the total amount of the support of the past years makes nearly £2 million. It's absolutely clear for us that public broadcaster is critical for any state's development, as we have just heard. At the international level, misinformation is regarded as one of the most important threats ever. In Ukraine, this problem is extremely relevant. The aggressive, the hostile players use the media and aggressive narratives to split Ukrainians and to cause mistrust toward the state and positive future for their children. Under these circumstances, it is critical to have information which should be reliable, high quality and fair. Information on government policy, for instance, related to vaccination or national safety. Or the citizens might need information helping them to elect some party members or the president that are supposed to guide the progress of the state many years ahead. Such democratic countries as Ukraine and United Kingdom allocate this role to the public broadcaster. The BBC brand has become a synonym to high-quality information, both in Great Britain and beyond. In the same context, UA PBC should become a supplier of high-quality, analytical and entertaining content. We believe that all prerequisites are in place. So on behalf of the United Kingdom Embassy, I'm happy to welcome UA PBC with the launch of this new newsroom. I'm pretty sure that this newsroom will help you to reach new audiences and let us hear just positive news from you.
Ukrainian, and thank you for these kind words.
Thank you. So we now move to one of our most important partners, BBC Media Action. At the beginning of the project, I had the pleasure to visit the BBC newsroom in London to see how such a respected news organization operates. And we were very impressed by what we saw there, and it inspired the current newsroom so much. So it gives me joy to introduce this video of the director of BBC News and Current Affairs.
Hello everyone, I'm Fran Unsworth, the BBC's Director of News and Current Affairs. Congratulations on the opening of the new UA PBC Multimedia News House. I remember first meeting some of the UA PBC team here in the BBC's headquarters back in 2018. I hope the time you spent with us was valuable and helped to guide the design and structure of this fantastic new centre. I'm only sorry I can't be there in person to see it. We're very proud of BBC Media Action's involvement in this project. BBC trainers have delivered hundreds of workshops and courses over the past 4 years, teaching essential skills from storytelling and video journalism to fact-checking, verification, and the latest techniques in data journalism and social news gathering. We're also delighted to have been able to offer the expertise of BBC staff and consultants who've helped create the multimedia newsroom and have advised on editorial principles and guidelines. It's impossible to underestimate the importance of the work UA PBC does. An independent, fair and impartial voice in such a challenging media landscape is absolutely vital. I'm sure your new home will help you go from strength to strength, telling stories in fresh ways, reaching new audiences and giving Ukraine great journalism. All of us at BBC News wish you the very best for the future.
Fran Unsworth, the Director of BBC News and Current Affairs.
And the last speaker for today, but the first person at Suspilne. Please welcome the Head of Management Board, Mr. Mykola Chernotitsky.
I'm very happy today about Suspilne news team has this newsroom. It's unbelievable. But potential for this environment to clear to see. It's bring our journalists to the heart of the city, to the historical home of broadcasting in Kyiv. It will give us a wonderful opportunity to work and collaborate in multimedia ways. This environment is about creating a new way of working for our news team. This is the last stage of our big journey, what we have already come such along from beginning as separate TV and radio teams. We have launched a successful website, and this month we have incredible result. So far, it's the biggest result, 4.5 million unique users. We have launched a successful social media team, which produced some of the most creative and powerful news stories in Ukraine. We are reach huge new audience and bring them value of free, fair, and independent journalism. We have already introduced a new way of working with the news gathering team as the heart of operation. The importance of news house building cannot be underestimated. But this is not just a brick, mortar and glass. It's the home of the future of Suspilne news in Ukraine. We will continue to reach new audience for our news and have impact is so richly diverse. I would like to say thank you, the EU, German and British ambassador. I would like to say thank you, BBC Media Action and Deutsche Welle Academy. We deeply appreciate your effort and your support. Thank you.
Mykola, thank you. The story of the news house began 6 years ago. And it started when a respected TV director looked at the list of TV ratings of all European public broadcasters. And he found that UAPBC was on the list, but it was the last one on the list. And he decided to come to Ukraine and see for himself the reasons for it. Back then, UAPBC was just born, and it was strongly underfinanced, and its journalism needed to be improved. On the other hand, the oligarch-owned TV stations, they were investing a lot of money in entertainment, and they were dominating the market. During his visit, the director met a 24-year-old boy who worked at UAPBC as a producer. And the boy was very passionate about the concept of public broadcasting, but he did not believe that UAPBC had the smallest chance to overgrow the oligarch channels. And the director said, UAPBC is too weak and too poor to compete with private companies in their entertainment programming. But making trustworthy news is not more expensive than making corrupt news. This is where you need to start. Same day, the concept of a newsroom that would unite TV, radio, and digital under one roof, delivering independent news to Ukrainian public, appeared. Since that day, it has been a long journey that is called the Newshouse Project. And today, years later, that boy stands before you. It's me. And this boy truly thinks that it was the most important project in his life. And he would like to call his old friend and the Danish TV director and the former EBU director, Bjorn Eriksson, and say a big thank you to him. Can you come up here, Bjorn? Can you come up? Our idea came to life, and it would never be possible without you. So I'm very proud to share this moment with you.
When I came here first, it was in February 2014, and I was a bit nervous. February 2014, go to Maidan and see what happens in that month. And I came to the broadcaster. I brought 6 Danish specialists with me, and they were also concerned. Can this be organized? There was a team of Ukrainian journalists and technicians. I was heading the Danish delegation, and we needed a chairman of the Ukrainian delegation. And I was told that it should be the technical director. I did not agree on that. I said I wanted him. And they looked at me and said, but Björn, he's 24. He's 24, he's a junior. He's not a senior. How shall he tell all the others what to do? I wanted him. Congratulations with your news house. Congratulations with him.
Thank you very much.
I think it's an amazing moment, which wait for you for 6 years. So thank you for sharing this joyful moment with us. And now we would like to invite you to a little celebration to the Radio Hub. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.